Mark Carney went off to the UK to visit your family and friends. And, well, as luck would have it, it happened to be there was a rugby match going on at the same time.
He is, at this point, he's a lot more English than I am. He knows a lot more about that country. And indeed, we don't know for sure if he really did get rid of his British passport. He said he was going to, but do we know for sure? Has he posted the picture of him chopping it up with a pair of scissors? It's so peculiar, isn't it? I mean, it's started to become obvious now, I think, that he has some kind of strange affinity with Britain and with the political class there in Britain. Obviously, his wife is from Britain, so it's kind of convenient for him to go there for her sake. But I just think, there's something that he's not telling us. I'm not trying to suggest a very dark conspiracy here, but my theory is that he's trying to work on some kind of massive announcement, like very, very big and consequential announcement. And that's why he keeps going there. Something to do with a kind of parallel NATO or something like that to try and shaft the US.
I mean, several of them had a meeting there talking about how the world is endangered by the far right. So imagine if Pierre Poilievre went there and had a meeting with a whole bunch of far right leaders talking about how dangerous the far left is, what the media would do, the Canadian government-funded media.
They would probably get on the ground immediately and act as foot soldiers to persecute these far right people. It's interesting though that last week we talked about that little round table thing that they did, Carney, Starmer and some other prime ministers in London. They would talk, like the whole theme of that was about what they call the centre left, because they still think that they're centrists rather than the fact that they're actually on the fringes and barely anybody agrees with their policies. But the whole point of that discussion was, how do we, as the centre left, as the Social Democrats, how do we resist this insurgent right? And in Britain, the insurgent right is a party called Reform, which is led by Nigel Farage, who a lot of people probably know. He's a friend of Donald Trump's. He helped get Brexit over the line. He's a big campaigner for Brexit. I think it was 2 days later or maybe a day later not long after that round table, Keir Starmer came out and said, Reform is a racist party. And what they're talking about is dangerous and will put Britain over the edge. It's like he's talking about the civil war and things like that. And it's all his fault. He's stirring up trouble. So if that's anything to go by, if that's what Starmer thinks as Mark Carney's best mate, then I can only assume that means that's an indication of what the Liberals are going to do. They're going to come out and start to refer to the Conservatives somehow as racist. I mean, again, so prepare yourself for that.